What's up, tubers? T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing, coming back at you tonight to finish our lake breakdown series for Lake Leon, just west of DFW. This one looks like a good one for sure. We were able to go over all the Google Earth stuff on the last video, and now all we need to do is just figure out what is left for the offshore stuff. So that's what we'll be working on tonight. Let's go check it out. Should be a good one. Well, here we are out on Lake Leon, and we're going to jump in and talk about the offshore spots that we can find here by using the contours. So we're out here using the Navionics mobile app, and what I did was I went out on the lake and just looked at all the different contours that were out there, and I pointed out the key areas where I think you're going to have some success just based on what we could find from the contours. So as we get over here on this section of the lake, this is probably the deepest section of the lake there is, 46 foot over here, and then if you get over here to the west side, I mean, you're only in about 9 foot or so. So huge difference in kind of the lakes that you're fishing here. On this east section, definitely a lot deeper. I'm sure you probably got a little bit more rock in here and stuff like that. I can't exactly remember what we did on the breakdown. It's been a little bit since we did it. But a couple of things I want you to look at here. Obviously, you've got some pretty steep bank lines, a lot of deep contours. You can tell because the lines are really close together. So all these docks up in here, for the most part, especially the ones that are on this side, are very deep docks. But if we come over here, there's a little bitty point or kind of like a flatter area. So over in here, you got 9 foot, right, a lot shallower. And then you've got this long extended point that comes off here. And this point's only about 6 foot. And on the other side of it drops down to about 30 something foot. So definitely a good area to go take a look at right where I put that marker at. And I'm sure this bank line's probably pretty good just being so steep and having all that rock. It's probably going to produce pretty good. I didn't see anything from an offshore standpoint necessarily in here that pops out to me. I do like, and you'll see me point this out in a couple different areas. It's not necessarily offshore, but still wanted to point it out to you. But these docks that are out here on this point, especially this one's pretty isolated, pretty good looking point. I would definitely take a look at that and see what you can find there. Now, if you pull out here to the edge out here, there's this high spot that's out here. You'll notice it right here at about 11 foot. On this side, it drops to 17 foot. On this side, it drops to 16 foot. So definitely want to do some scanning in and around that little area that's there. And then also over here, you kind of got the same thing, these big flats that are out here, 6 foot flats. You want to scan on the outside edges of them and see what you can find. And then if you can't find that on the edges, then they're up top feeding, and that means it's money time. All right, so let's pull back, kind of show you guys what we covered here. We covered from the dam up here on this side. We came down, covered around this island. I'm going to go up here now to this little area. And this one had lots of different interesting stuff. One, you got this little island that's out here, right? This little area right in here. And sorry about the notifications. I'm not sure what is going on here. We've also got a little point that sticks out right here in this area. Nice little drop off right in here. Really, really like the looks of that. At the top of it's 13 foot and it's dropping down to about 23 foot. It's a perfect spot for somebody to put a brush pile or debris and stuff like that. So you'll want to do some scanning when you go out there. Same type thing here. These are just kind of the tips of this little point that comes out. You'll want to look at those. Over here, you've got the same type thing, right? You got these points that come out with some really good drops. Same thing here. Point that comes out with some really good drops. Maybe even a little pinch point in this area. And then we get over to here and you just basically got to get off the bank line, but that's where you find your drops, and that's probably where you're going to find your fish as well. So let's move on up here a little bit further. We get up here, we got another point. This one looks really good, real good flat top point, pretty good break off to the side of it. And then we get back here by the bridge, and it really starts getting too shallow to really, specifically talk offshore. So we'll circle back. Now let's go down the west side, see what we can find on this west side. We get down here, this point looks pretty good as well. I'd fish up here as well, but you could circle back. This area in here looks pretty interesting too. Really good breaks going on right there in that area. It's something they could collect to pretty good. And it's also right where this little river channel comes through here, or creek channel, and swings right up against that point right there. And I'm not sure what happens in here, where it goes, but it looks like that it swings back this way. So that's going to be a really productive point. Let's go over here. You got a pretty nice flat that's up here. You could check out some stuff going on there. I mean, it's just only 9 foot, but nothing really particularly that stuck out to me. We talked about this stuff. This is that creek channel or that river channel, right? Swinging down here, and it's coming down, And we're looking for big turns or spots where it touches. And these two spots right in here look good. Now this spot's a little bit off that point, so might not be as good, but has a nice little point with the little rounded edge. But this one right here, that one, guarantee is a good one. It's got the creek channel coming right up against the edge of that point. It's going to be a really good staging spot for them, a spot for them to stop and feed. You're probably going to see a lot of shad in that area as well. So definitely just a good spot to go look at. Then as we move out here, we get a couple areas in here that are interesting. This is a little hump that's out here. It's at about, I think it said, I can't get it off that marker, but I think it was about 13 or 16 foot. So that hump out there you might want to look at. A lot of times it'll have hard spots. And if you're really paying attention to the screen here, this is the creek channel. And the creek channel is swinging over here and touching the edge of this hump. That says 21 foot right there, but I think it, like I said, I think it goes up to like 16 feet or something like that. So check out that hump, especially the summertime. And then it swings right back over here and gets close to this point. So you got to check out this point as well and see what you can find there. Then it kind of sticks out here in the middle of the lake. Not much going on, but you do have a little isolated docks here, some really deep docks right off of a main lake point. Those could be interesting to fish too. And then if you follow that little river channel, as it goes in here, or creek channel, it comes over here and hits this hump too. So that's going to make it a primo spot to go look, especially in the summertime. So you'll want to go out and look at that hump. Then we're going to come down here. It kind of falls off. I think this is like a little secondary one that comes in, but same type thing, right? It's creating that channel for you. And you're really just looking at those spots where those channels touch things like points and humps and all that. Here's a nice point that comes out that's got a real good drop on it. Right, so nice flat point, 10 foot at the top, and then we get over here and we're in 30 foot. So there's a pretty significant drop going on in that area. That dock's probably really good too because that river channel or creek channel is swinging right up against it. Here's another one of those turns. You'll want to look at those turns. Right in here, it pinches up and gets real close to those docks, right in that area too. And then of course down here, you've just got a point where that comes across it. And you can see, you know, there's a channel coming in there. Really close to the edge of that island. I said it's a point, but it's a point off the island that you could take a look at. Gotta love all these notifications. And now let's keep moving up and see what else we can find up here. Here's this river channel, right? So you're probably gonna wanna look all in this area right in here. This whole area has really good drops. It's like a real nice flat top and then super dropping off into that channel. This right here makes a nice little point. I could see that being good. Plus you've got that little bend going on right there. Now it's not 30 foot, don't worry. You're probably only in, what, 12, 15 foot right there? And then it drops to 30 foot. Same type thing over here. This is a really good pinch point. If we zoom in, take a look at how this swings down here and it kind of curves over. Right there off the tip of that. It's 13 foot off the very tip of that. And then right there in the middle is 30 foot. Another good looking spot to take a look at. Now we're going to come down here, take a look at this too. This looks like it could be a potential good spot for them to set up on right on the edge of that point. And then over here, as this point swings down, getting on that little curve right in there. A lot of times they'll set up on stuff like that, so you could take a look at that too. Now we're going to come up here. It gets obviously a lot deeper, like we said in the beginning of the video, but a couple more things to take a look at. We've got a little isolated or not isolated dock, it's the edge of this rounded point. It has some pretty good breaks right in here, and I'm picking that out because of that channel that's really close to it. So you can see it's swinging up here and actually swinging really close to that point. So somewhere right in here, same type thing again, it's bending, getting really close to that point. If you can find those little spots where it just starts or where it just ends, those tend to be the best spots to go find the fish. Then we're gonna move up here. We don't see too much here. You just got some pretty good rock and stuff that's out in this area. I'm not even sure why it put offshore here for rock. There must be some offshore looking rock that's off in that spot. And then over here, that is it. So that covers us for Lake Leon. I hope you guys are enjoying these breakdowns. Please go out and check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. We've got almost 200 lakes out there now. We've got a bunch of small lakes in Texas, all the big lakes in Texas. We've got Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama. I don't even think we've touched Florida yet. We've got North Carolina, South Carolina. Gosh, we're getting huge. Just make sure to go check it out, especially if you're a tournament fisher. This will help you out a ton by getting all your planning done. So go check out the website, simplisticfishing.com. Make sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, give me some comments, and until next time, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy, guys.